Hello, my name is Kylie-Erinn Koker, and today I would like to speak to you about a teacher that positively influenced my life. Mr. Mandel taught me history from 2012 through to 2015 when I matriculated high school from Hillcrest High. Oliver Mandel was born on the 6th of January 1954 and taught predominantly history for 42 years, retiring at the age of 64 at the end of 2018. Mr. Mandel's career started at the University of Natal, where he was studying accounting. Mr. Mandel and a friend started a group called the Big Brother. In the Big Brother group, they would go to different orphanages, visiting the children, taking them out on outings, helping them with their homework, letting them interact socially with other children, and doing anything possible to help them regain a sense of normality. During a Christmas function, Mr. Mandel realized that he was the only adult in attendance that didn't belong to the orphanage. Feeling a bit disheartened, Mr. Mandel decided to make a change. Every opportunity that Mr. Mandel got to go home for the holidays, he would take a group of children home with him so that they wouldn't have to spend the holidays alone and so that they could see what it felt like to be at home for the holidays. Mr. Mandel soon realized that accounting wasn't for him and decided to rather major in teaching. Not only did Mr. Mandel have a promising career in teaching and counseling, he was also an aspiring athlete. A debilitating knee injury could have ended his career, but it only pushed him much harder. Mr. Mandel still to this day coaches race walking. His own son, Mark Mandel, attended the 2016 Rio Olympics and is currently in training for the 2020 Olympics as well. Mr. Mandel has donated blood over 340 times in his life and is on the National Blood Committee. He will continue to donate blood and will continue to encourage everybody else to do the same. Mr. Mandel's classes were always unique and significant for me due to his teaching styles and his mannerisms. Mr. Mandel could never stand in front of the classroom and teach to us from a textbook. He would rather sit in amongst us at an empty desk and tell us a long story about what happened. He would suddenly jump up and run into his storeroom and fetch us a piece of history to help us gain more understanding. Mr. Mandel taught us how to think independently. He wanted us to be able to do our own research to fill in the gaps. So he would give us dates and basic information, but the rest was up to us. Mr. Mandel expected us to do an essay once a week, but just as we were expected to do an essay, he handed them back to us the very next day, full of comments and all marked. Mr. Mandel was very significant for me because he took a personal interest in each of his students. He made sure that we all knew what was going on, and then if we had any personal problems, we knew that we could go to him because he would always be there for us. Mr. Mandel set goals for each of us and expected us to be able to keep up with them. Mr. Mandel was always pushing us to do our best and to always do better. Mr. Mandel became very significant for me, not only because of the man that he was, but because of the teacher that he was as well. Mr. Mandel taught me skills that I still use to this day. Mr. Mandel's lessons were always my favorites, and I will always remember him fondly. Thank you very much for listening to me.